discussing astrologic signs. The thing that happened is I had a discussion with Riya at Lightning Riya, and she essentially said that astrology signs are real, the stars determine this and that. I thought that was a bunch of nonsense. But long story short, I called my brother up, told him to watch the video. He watched it. He said, basically I was in the wrong. He tried to take her side, say that she's right in some sense. So I'm curious. I wanted to interview him. I wanted to have a debate, a discussion, to talk about what he really thinks and if he really believes this, because I think it's nonsense. But I'm open to hear another perspective, especially from my brother, someone that means something to me. So I just want to start out straight to the point. AJ, are you saying, what's your handle, by the way? AJ
86 Libra.
So AJ 86 Libra. Are you saying that the day you're born, whichever month or day it lies, are you really trying to say and paint the picture that that determines parts of your physical character?
Yes, I do think so. So, and I never said I was taking anyone's side. I was taking my side. So my theory behind it is you were saying that if you're born on a specific month, do you believe in zodiac signs? Do you believe, if I'm a Libra, do I believe that I fall in the characteristics of a zodiac sign for a Libra? And I said, I do believe in zodiac signs. I believe everyone is born on a certain month and a certain day. And I think that, they will have not all of them, but most will probably have characteristics of what their sign is. And I think it would help get to know who they really are. So I do believe in astrology.
But just to consolidate the question, so you're saying me being born in June, or if I was born in July, just the day specifically I was born is going to inevitably make me a certain way?
Inevitably is a big word, right? So I can't say that, but I think that it's a high chance that you will be a certain way because of the day that you were born. Yes.
Okay.
But
Go ahead.
I also believe in God.
Okay, that's another topic.
Okay.
But let me have a rebuttal. So, just to be clear, you think that because I was born in June, or if I was born in July, whatever month I happen to be born in, you're saying that specifically, solely, just the day I was born determines how my personality will be?
No.
But that's what you just said.
No, you said that specifically solely. You still have a life to live, right? You still have childhood experience. You have experience for 25 years. So that specifically solely, that does not determine who you are. But because of your zodiac, which when you originally brought this to me, right, I read you what your zodiac was from ChatGPT, right? And when I read it, I thought it was accurate. So, and then you were like, okay, some of those things do apply to me.
But I also said that you could just name anything, any sort of characteristics, and assign yourself those characteristics based off of when you were born. Like, my take is that when you were born has nothing to do with who you are as a person. It's what you learn, what you do, where you go, who you meet, what your experience is that determines everything, not when I was born.
Okay, but so you believe people are born every day, right? Why isn't everyone born on the same day? If none of this mattered, why isn't everyone born on the same day? And I understand people have sexual intercourse, right, every day, which means that, based off of the timeline, they say 9 months, right? So I do get that theoretically, right? But somebody invented that process, right? It's not like, oh, this is just the human body. Like, somebody invented everything. So I think that it could be possible if God wanted it to be, right? And I know we have two different beliefs on that everyone would have been born on January 1st every year. All children that are going to be born, but that's not happening. Everyone's born on certain days, certain months, certain times. I think it does mean something.
So, is physical intercourse a choice? I think the decision to have physical intercourse with somebody is a choice. You could have it, you could not have it. You could push it back a week, you could do it tomorrow. And that is what decides when someone is born, not anything else, a divine being, a magical star passing across the earth, if you decide to make a baby one day, a baby's theoretically going to come out 9 months later. No amount of divine intervention is going to say, no, on this day, this guy was meant to be a Libra or a Gemini or a Taurus or a Pisces or a Scorpio, all this stuff. It's just a made up concept that people did to basically feel special and tried to assign statistics or characteristics that people want to have onto people. It just may happen to apply or may happen not to apply. It's just a made up thing that you have to believe in for it to make sense. It's not real tangible.
Mm-hmm.
So back to the question, do you think that physical intercourse creates a birth, not necessarily you're going to be born on this day because of divine power? Like your parents decided to do something on a certain day and that's why you're born at the day, right?
So physical intercourse, I hope, is a choice for everyone. Now we know it's not, right? But I hope it could be a choice for everyone.
I don't
Now,
know. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off, but I just don't know what you mean by that. Like, unless
rapes, right?
Grapes.
Rape.
Grapes.
Okay, grapes.
Grape for the YouTube.
Okay, grapes. But, I would want it to be a choice for everyone. But back to your theory, my parents, right, could have done what they did, right? And 9 months later, you think that a child would be born, but I was a preemie because I was a twin. So me and my twin were premature. So we weren't supposed to be born the day we were born, but we were born, right? So I don't think it's exactly 9 months. Some people have birth at 5 months. Some people have birth at 6 months, right? Now, the best time they say is 9 months, right? But what about those people that weren't born 9 months, like myself?
I also was born, I think, a month early. People are born 10 months at some times.
Mm-hmm.
People are born, like you said, 6 months, but that doesn't change the fact that deciding to have sex and then all of the other physical characteristics of the woman's body, of the environment, if she's fit enough to hold a child, like I had to be kept in to bake longer because I guess I was big. My mom maybe wasn't as fit as she could have been to hold me at the time. So the deciding factor to start all this is deciding to have sex. It's not like when you start to bake a child, all of a sudden at a certain time frame, that's when you're gonna be born. It's basically up in the air. You could be held for 10 months, you could be held for 8 months, for 6 months, but overall 9 months is a typical range. So what I'm saying is the deciding factor to start all this is sex. And then after that, yes, it could be this time or this time, but still the fact is that when you're born, that doesn't change who you're gonna be.
Okay, but astrology is a belief, right? And what you're talking is facts, right? So we don't believe the same thing, right? Because I believe in higher powers and stuff like that. You want to stick to the facts. So it's going to be hard to have a conversation when astrology is a belief, right? Nothing's proven, but statistically, there's so much information on it. And do I agree with the statistics? Most of it I do, right? But factually, I think that's what you're thinking about.
So I don't want to be divisive, but it sounds like you're saying that I'm right, that no statistics could say, no, being born on this day, being considered a Taurus or whatever is going to make you a certain way.
So,
it's just a belief.
So I think you're wrong. I said statistically, there's a lot of information about astrology that I agree with. For example, you said you believe you were a preemie. I don't know if you were or you weren't, right? But you weren't supposed to be born that day, right? I think everyone is born on a specific day for a specific reason. Now, we may never know that reason, but I believe everyone's born on a specific day for a specific reason, just like I believe everyone has intercourse on a specific day for specific reasons, right? I don't think you could get to control, like, oh, this person's gonna get pregnant today, right? I think you have to try, right? And try it. Then eventually, hopefully it happens for them, right? And then eventually, hopefully they have a healthy baby, right? And that baby would be born, right? I think that, the the pregnancy, um, you know, the pregnancy experience, right, is nothing that we know about because we're men. So I don't think we can really judge that, but I do think that everything is not factual with the pregnancy.
I want to disagree on a few things you said. So it's just like I think of it like a plant that has a seed or a plant that's going to bloom, right? You may see a flower that's in the process of blooming, right? It's starting to come out, but who's to say today is the day it's going to fully open up? You don't know. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be a week from now, but you have a general idea that it's blooming, right? Just like a woman. If you see a pregnant woman, her belly's out here, you say, okay, may not be today, may not be next week, but it's pretty soon you're gonna have a child. The state of the child, I don't know, but long story short, you're in process of having a child. You're either just started out or you're right about to have it. So I think of it the same way. It's a process. Yes, you can't say you're gonna get pregnant today. It's gonna happen today. But like you said, you can try. You could put things together to start that process today. You may have started it on this one day, and conception takes time. But what I'm saying is, the overarching thing that I have to say is, no amount of choosing to have sex, no amount of choosing to want to be pregnant, or even when you're popped out, does that determine who you're going to be as a person. You could have been born 2 weeks later and fall into a different category. What you're telling me is you think if you were to happen to be born 2 weeks later or before, oh, you're a different sign. You think that would make so much of a difference in your personality that you would be different as a person because of that.
Yes. Because again, astrology is about signs, right? So you're a Gemini, I'm a Libra, right? So if I was born a couple of weeks later and I was a different sign, I would look into that sign, and I think I would fall into that category if I was born 2 weeks later, right? Now, again, this is all not factual, right? This is beliefs.
Right.
So just like me being a Libra and believing that I fall into those categories is a belief, right? Now, um, I'm a twin at the same time. We're very different, right? She's a Libra, I'm a Libra, right? So I think we still both fall in the category of Libras, but I think different aspects of it, right? So certain things where I may fall into as a Libra, she may not, and certain things where she may fall into a Libra, I may not, right? But yes, I believe if I was born in a different sign, astrology sign, I think it would change who I was as a person.
I think that makes, I mean, I don't want to once again be divisive, but I think that makes no real sense. If I said, oh, I'm a Gemini and I don't have a twin, but let's just say I did have a twin. Oh, I'm a Gemini, I have a twin. I'm this kind of Gemini, my twin is this kind of Gemini. That doesn't make sense if you're talking about something that's concrete, intangible, like Geminis act this way. It should be boom, 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 boom. This is how you act, okay? If someone else is very different, how can we both fall into this category if we're both the same thing? It should be boom, 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 boom. We all, that's what I'm saying. It's like a shot in the dark. You just say, oh, Libras and Geminis are very quizzical. They're very interpretive. They're very good with people, like just nonsense stuff. Oh, Pisces is very mentally active. They're very curious. They want to talk. Oh, Taurus is very hard in their belief. Like, you're just saying stuff that people adopt as their identity, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's who they are or how they should act. Like me, a Gemini has different claimed characteristics, but you're telling me that all the Geminis fit into this category as far as how they act, just because people wrote it up and made it up that way?
No, not all the Geminis. I would never say all. I think most, right? And I hate to pull out the card, but you are a 25-year-old,
Yeah,
right? Who's has not procreated.
right.
Okay, I'm a
To the
40
best
year
of my
old.
knowledge. To the best of my knowledge.
Okay, I'm a 40-year-old, right? Who has a child, right? I've lived longer than you. I've seen more than you, right? So the things that you talk about that are factual, I don't think you have the understanding of believing something that's not. So this whole astrology thing, we could debate it till we're blue in the face, but you have a hard time believing. You
because
and you never procreated.
but I think those two things have nothing to do with each other. So I don't need to procreate to let you know that being born on a certain day doesn't mean I'm going to act a certain way.
Hmm.
I think if you looked it up, not that this is all that there is, right? I think that Google is just a data point. If you looked it up, does being born on a specific astrology sign mean that I'm going to be a certain way, or is it a made-up belief? What does the facts, like you said, the facts say? I think if you were to look it up, feel free to. It would basically say it's just a belief. People want to believe this. It doesn't really mean anything other than what people want to make it believe in their head.
Okay, but even with that statement, right? We live in a world full of people, right? So people want to believe something. We are people. So one person out of 100, may be like, no, I disagree, right? But that
One.
that that could be and what I'm saying is 10%, right? 10% may be like, no, I want to talk about the facts, right? 90% is going to be like, no, I believe this. So the debate that you're having, it's a never winning conversation, because if people want to believe it, we live in a world full of society. And I think with the procreate, I do think that helps gives you an idea, because I have a daughter, right? She was born in February, right? She does not have the characteristics that I have, right? Now she is just like me. She looks just like me, right? And she's definitely, thinks like me. But when I look at her sign and I look at, she's Aquarius. So when I look at her sign and I get to know her better, it helps me understand her personality more, right? The things that they like to do, right? I look up. All right, I'll look up on Google, right? And I'll try it and I'll see how she likes to do those things, right? Hey, so this is what this sign does. Okay, let me bring my daughter into these categories, right? Let's see how she relates to them, right? Versus, okay, let's see how she falls into the categories of what I like to do, right? Versus my sign. She falls into the categories of her sign. So I think procreating gives you another look at a human being from a different perspective in their personality and their way of thinking.
I think that although maybe you think that by procreating you get a basically blank slate of someone to understand and get a gauge of, I think it's important to remember that people are constantly changing throughout their life. Yes, maybe someone will be similar for 1 year to the next, but if you look on a long time scale, 10 years, 5 years, at least me personally, I've changed a lot the past 5 years each time, right? So I think this conversation is also very similar to the paranormal. Now, you or someone else would go, no, ghosts are real. I've seen spirits and all this stuff and the haunting, blah, blah, blah. But if I personally have not seen any of it, he just looks like a crazy person. No, 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 I was scared. I'm more practical to say it's a hallucination. You want to believe it, you want to feel like it's there, but the actual tangible of it says it's not true. If you were to look it up, not that this matters, but do you think that you would change your mind based off of what Google says? Like, yeah, it's just a belief. People just want to believe it. It's just something made up. It's not real, tangible. It's not something that you could depend on.
No, I don't think so. Now, Google, I use a lot, right? And I think Google has a lot of facts, right? But I don't think Google's the end all be all, right? And same with paranormal, right? If you're like, oh, I've never seen it, right? I think it's just a made up thing, you will be the first to die in a situation, right? I think you would be like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna go in and see for myself, right? I think there's there's naive and there's smart, right? I think sometimes you're naive because you don't have the facts, but you're not being smart about the situation. I would like for my brother to be smart and not naive.
So this is gonna be clippable, but what's smart? I'm gonna base my life and my choices and who I interact with and what I think about people and myself based off the day I was born? Or is it smarter to live life, see who you are intuitively without assigning yourself a date that you're born and thinking that you're something because of that date, or judging other people because they were born on their date? What's smarter? judging based off what someone else told you, or looking and living life and seeing for yourself?
So to answer your question, looking at life and seeing it for yourself.
Okay.
Now, I would also challenge you, right, since we're having this debate and this discussion, to use ChatGPT, tell them your birthday, right, all the information you want, and read your who it says you are, and let's do mine, and we'll see who it says I am. That way, the audience can decide, oh, this is what they say about him, and if they agree with you, I would think that your process of that would change, right? But I don't think it would. Yeah. So that's why having a debate with you, it's a no-win conversation.
I'm not looking to. My bad. Go ahead.
Because ChatGPT could tell you about yourself, right? And if people watch this and say, "Oh, I think that's him," and you're like, "Oh, I don't think so," there's no winning that.
But I don't go into this thinking like, oh, can I win in this situation? I'm not necessarily here to prove you wrong or make you look a certain way or think that I'm right. It's just I'm here more for the audience and to make a video about it because it's a data point, right? You're your age, I'm my age. We have our own experiences. We've known each other 25 years, right? I think by putting out how we think about it and expressing it, we may help someone else either escape the delusion that they're in, or maybe they want to head into it if that's what they feel like they want to do. But long story short, I just think that you can't change my mind. Someone being born on a certain day, let's say I had a kid today, you're saying they would be, for whatever sign it is right now, they would be that way because they're born on that day.
Remember, I said there's a high possibility. I'm not going to say they're going to be that way. I think there's a high possibility that they would be that way because of the sign that they were born in. I do think everyone's born on a certain day for a certain reason, and I feel like with the astrology that they will have personality or character traits and of that sign. So again, it's not everyone, but I think a good amount of people.
And you don't think it's because the parents chose to make a baby that day or that week?
No, because a baby could be premature. A baby could, be in there 10 months, like you said, right? I don't think so. I don't think parents get to decide what month their child is born.
But they start the process of it. It's not like it's not like a store just brings a baby. Oh, we have a baby. Mm-hmm. It was delivered on this day. If we lived in a fairy tale magical world like that, maybe I'll agree with you and believe that, okay, certain things just happen for certain reasons. But we live in a world where you have to make a baby. It's not like it just happens. Like, you have to actually start the process. You have to try. Things have to happen. Just because I'm born on this day or 2 weeks ago or 2 weeks ahead doesn't, in my mind, it's not a contributing factor in my personality traits at all. Now we touched on paranormal. I think that too, you have to want to believe in it and have some sort of movie magical mindset to even want to believe that exists as well. Maybe you have some brain injury, maybe you have some history, not you, but maybe people have some history with substances and it's messed up their brain where they are delusional, they think things happen that don't happen. I just think we live in a physical cause and effect world that not a lot of people are really willing and able to track. Like, we just went to the pool and you said I was emotional. I would historically describe myself as unemotional. Do you want to look up Gemini and your sign and display it to the audience so I can basically feel like we are disproving it even more? Because once again, what I think is just like overarching, reaching conversational pieces that anybody would say, yeah, it's me. It's not necessarily true though.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the emotional pool incident, or talk about the Libra and Gemini characteristics and let them decide if we're that?
Yeah, I'm open to either, right? I think as far as, what you were talking about, right? Like, people have intercourse and then, that gives us an idea of when they're, going to give birth. What percentage of people do you think plan pregnancy?
Unfortunately, I think it's less than 50% of people plan a pregnancy.
Okay, so if you believe less than 50% people plan the pregnancy, then they never knew that they were going to have a child that was going to be born on this month and this day until after they find out they're pregnant, right?
But I mean, not necessarily. I think that people just are willy-nilly running, running the streets, doing whatever. I think they think there's a possibility they can have a child, but a conscious decision. We're going to start to have a child this month. We're going to start to make it happen. I don't think a lot of people do that. So I think it's half. They understand that there's a possibility, but they're not necessarily like counting the days saying, when am I going to have my child?
Right, but if it's less than 50%, then that means that people aren't planning, right? They're not planning to have their child in, what are we, in June or July, right? They're not planning. Let's say they have intercourse and somebody finds out they're pregnant every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said less than 50% of those people did not plan that. So the day that they're going to give birth and bring a child into this world was not planned. So why was that child born on that day, on that month?
I mean, I don't think it's planned per se. Like I look at it like a oven, right? So if a woman is an oven and you have conception happen and the baby's growing, babies grow at different rates. Certain things take longer or shorter based off of a lot of different things. The mother's health, her activity level, how good she's eating, how good she's, all this different stuff. So once you are conceived inside the womb, it takes time to grow what you came out as, right? So the womb didn't know you were going to be born that day. You didn't know you were going to be born that day. I mean, sometimes it does happen. The doctor says, this day we're going to start birth. Like, we're going to make your water break. You're going to give birth on this day. But if it happens naturally, like your water just breaks naturally, it's not like okay, we're ready. Like, it's just, you've grown so much to the point that the womb can't really feasibly hold you anymore. And you're at the time where you could sustain yourself, typically. So I think it's not necessarily like, oh, we have intercourse on a certain day, and they're thinking about, yeah, we're gonna have this baby 9 months from now. You don't know when you're gonna get pregnant. You could be trying for months. No pregnancy. But when you do find out that you're pregnant, the doctor, looking at how large the growth is, they can get an idea of how long you've been pregnant for. They could say you're this amount of weeks along, and then from there they could say, okay, I think you're gonna give birth X amount of time from now. And so it's not necessarily planned, but it is something that you can track, and it all has to start with intercourse. So I don't think that it's just some magical thing. The stork comes along and drops it into your parents' lap, or I just don't know. We woke up one day, we were pregnant. It's not like that. I think it's planned in a sense that parents typically take on the risk that they could have this child. That's what I think.
I don't think that means it's planned. If they think they could take on a risk of having a child, that doesn't mean. So you said people out here living willy-nilly, right? Do you live willy-nilly?
No, but there are ways that I could be safer with what I do.
Okay.
Like
so
I said.
If a kid were to be born and you were the father, you're not planning that.
Not at this time, no. But right. I never said it was my plan per se. I could say, yes, I want to try to have a child and start to do that. But what I'm saying is, a woman can try to get pregnant, hoping for something to land in her womb and start to grow. But does that mean it's going to happen? No. It may happen a month from now. It may happen a week from now. It may happen today. But nobody knows for certain when your water will break. Nobody knows for certain unless you schedule it with a doctor. Hey, let's actually, I forget the word is, but basically start the process of giving birth, right? So what I'm saying is, the only catalyst to all those things, though, is trying, intercourse, starting to try to make a baby, and then it just basically happens whenever it happens. Let's say you met a girl on January 1st, she was perfect from day one, you knew you want to have a kid together, all this stuff. You may decide to only start having a baby in February. You could wait around until December. You could start in June. You could start that very day, but that's your choice to make. Now, if you wait 6 months, you know your baby, if she did get pregnant immediately, is not going to be these different signs because the baby takes roughly 9 months, right? So I think it's in your choice a little bit, depending on how quickly you'll start to conceive a child. I think it's in your choice when you have a baby, and that won't determine what their personality is going to be based off of their sign. I think it's all a choice on how they raise themselves and how you set it up for them to be raised. Did you want to look up the different signs and see if the audience agrees or disagrees that we're not a certain way? I just think it's somehow a made up
Here you go.
concept.
If you want to go in and um, like use it, I'm gonna talk to the camera.
All right.
So, to me, it sounds like he does believe, right? Because he just said that nobody knows when the water is gonna break, right? Or, when they're gonna give birth. You never know when that's gonna happen. So, you do believe in something, right? You do believe in something that you don't know the answer to. That's not factual, right? So if you believe in certain things that has no fact to it, I think that you choose to believe in what you want to and what you don't. So I think this whole astrology thing, it's just something you don't want to believe in. So I think, again, that there's facts and there's belief, right? But as far as astrology, it's going to be a lot of beliefs, but the beliefs statistically are true. So I mean, there's so much information that can prove it, um, and so I choose to believe it. I think it could help you get a better understanding who you are, who other people are, right? Communication style. I think life would be better if people understood each other more, and I think astrology could be part of that.
Can I have Gemini speak on it as far as what it said? Because what I said is, even though I didn't ask your sign and my sign, I said, "Hey, I'm AJ's brother. We are having a debate on astrology signs. I'm a practical thinker based on facts. AJ thinks of higher powers and believes in astrology. Is astrology a hard factual thing we can track as far as metrics?" Um,
Go ahead, read it.
Astrology is not considered a science, and it does not operate on hard, measurable metrics in the way that fields like physics, astronomy, or biology do. While you and AJ are approaching this from very different angles, understanding the distinction between the two fields can help clarify why it feels like you are debating on different wavelengths. The scientific perspective. From a scientific standpoint, astrology fails to meet the criteria of a factual, empirical discipline for several reasons. Lack of predictive power. Scientific theories must be falsifiable. There must be a way to test them and potentially prove them wrong. Astrology often relies on interpretations that are vague enough to apply to almost anyone, often called the Barnum effect or Forer effect, making it impossible to measure its accuracy in a controlled, repeatable environment. No mechanism. There is no known physical force, electromagnetic, gravitational, or otherwise, emitted by distant stars or planets that could logically influence human personality or life events at the moment of birth. Scientific consensus. The global scientific community consistently classifies astrology as a pseudoscience. Rigorous, large-scale studies, such as the famous 1985 double-blind test published in the journal Nature, have failed to show any correlation between astrological signs and personality traits or life outcomes. Why the divide exists? The debate often persists not because of facts, but because astrology serves a different function for those who believe in it. Psychological framing. For many, astrology acts as a tool for self-reflection, mindfulness, or storytelling. It provides a structured framework for people to process their emotions, personality, and relationships. It is less about predicting the future, and more about finding patterns or comfort in the chaos of life. The higher power connection, AJ's interest likely stems from a philosophical or spiritual worldview that values intuition, cosmic connection, and internal meaning over external objective measurement. In this framework, the truth is subjective and experiential rather than something that can be plotted on a graph. Summary. If you are looking for hard, verifiable metrics to prove or disprove astrology, you won't find them because astrology is not an empirical science. For you, astrology falls outside the realm of facts because it lacks evidence, testing, and a physical mechanism. For AJ, astrology is likely a symbolic language, a way to interpret the world that provides personal meaning and context that data points cannot capture. You are essentially debating two different systems, one based on objective reality, facts that exist independent of belief, and one based on subjective reality, meanings that exist because they are believed. Are you and AJ looking for a common ground to resolve the debate, or are you just trying to get a clearer picture of the distinction between the two approaches?
so what do you think?
Um, I mean, based off of hearing that, right, a lot of things said scientifically you can't prove it, which is what I said, right? Like, it's not factual, right? But I believe that you asked a factual question, right? I think the question is, do majority of the people in the world believe in astrology?
Do majority. So what's your answer? Do you think most people believe in astrology?
Yes.
of people in the world believe in astrology. So you think it's going to say yes?
I think it's going to say yes.
Do majority of the people in the world believe in astrology signs? It says no. The first word was no.
I did see the first
No,
word.
the majority of people in the world, and specifically in the United States, do not believe in astrology. While it is a popular cultural phenomenon, data consistently shows that it is a minority viewpoint. The numbers, belief statistics, in the United States, consistent polling, such as from the Pew Research Center, shows that roughly 27% to 30% of adults say they believe that the position of the stars and planets can affect people's lives. The majority view, by extension, roughly 70% of the population does not express this belief. Casual engagement versus belief. It is important to distinguish between believing in astrology as a system that influences life and engaging with it. Many more people know their zodiac sign or read horoscopes for entertainment or casual interest than actually believe in its scientific or predictive validity. For example, while only about 30% believe in it, nearly 90% of people know their zodiac sign. Who is most likely to believe? Polling data shows that belief in astrology is not evenly distributed across the population. There are some consistent demographic trends. Gender. Women are statistically more likely to believe in or consult astrology than men. Roughly 35% of women compared to 18%
Let's
of
pause
men.
it.
Age. Younger adult.
So 90% of people believe in their zodiac sign.
No, 90% of people know their zodiac sign. It doesn't say believe in it. Only 27 to 30% of adults believe in it. But 90% of people know their zodiac sign.
Okay. You can talk. I'm just going to read this.
So, I mean, based off of that, I think it's undeniable. Once again, the game with this is not, oh, let me prove AJ wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But if you see something that you can think about logically and say, you know what, this makes sense, I shouldn't believe in this stuff, of course, I would say, yeah, go ahead and believe in it. But I just think that it's like a made-up concept that it takes you wanting to believe to really believe in it. And I mean, it makes sense that women would believe in it more because they want this nonsense, princess, fairy tale, everything is for a reason, blah, blah, blah idea about stuff, and that's not always the case. Terrible things happen for stupid reasons. Great things happen for hard work reasons or for chance reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think I mean, so far we're at 37 minutes, do you think I changed your mind at all?
No. Do you think I changed your mind at all?
Of course not. But I think the statistics say most people don't believe in it.
I do agree with that, right? Because that's what ChatGPT said. So I'll admit that I was wrong there.
Most people don't believe in it. Mostly women believe in it. And there's no, like, it was tested. Scientists tested it. No correlation. It takes like someone wanting to believe in it to make it. I mean, it's just like God, right? Like, no hard statistics say God is real.
Mm-hmm.
No hard statistics say paranormal stuff exists.
Looking at camera, you're like off. Okay.
But you have to like want to believe in it to make it make sense to you. It's like witchery stuff, right? It's not real, right? But people have to want to believe in it to really believe in it, I think. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing per se, it's just what you believe. I wouldn't use my time on it, but I'm not saying, oh, I'm a better person than you because I do or don't. It's just this is it. I mean, this is what it is. This is what it is. This is how it came. This is what it's going to be. This is where it's going. This is how it is. So I think it makes maybe a little bit of sense. But if you're looking at measurable stuff, you would lean on my side. If you're looking at like I said, maybe what it means to you, maybe it means something else to you, maybe have deeper meanings than just what face value is, you're more likely to think in it. But you're still my brother. I care about your growth and development in life still. You've definitely helped me a lot of different ways in life, and I appreciate that. Regardless of what sign you are, regardless of what sign you think I am,
Mm-hmm.
I still value you as a person. So just because you're an astrology person doesn't mean that I have to like write you off. Now, do you want to talk about our signs, or do you want to go to what you said? I thought I was emotional.
I said I'm open to either.
I think because it was disproven, we shouldn't waste time on it. But so, Lightning Riya, not to call her out, but Lightning Rhea claims on her videos that she's a real hard person about her diet, about her life, her fitness journey, all this stuff. And she claims hungry. We have cashews to eat, healthy cashews. Not to necessarily put out my stuff that I'm eating, but this is healthy, good cashews to eat at this time. They may change recipe, but at this time it's good to eat. We had it at the pool over there. She said she's hungry. She basically she made a conscious decision to stay back, not get in the pool, swim, and enjoy the outside fresh air, the sun, all this stuff. She chose to get nonsense snacks, in my view, and eat them, even though she claims fitness, she claims wanting to improve her body, be blah, 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 motivate and inspire. And from that point in my mind, I'm just done with her because there's 8 billion people in the world, 4 billion women. One woman that I'm looking for, one woman out of all those billions of women have to actually be serious about their diet, has to actually be serious about their body, has to actually be serious about their life in general. And I don't know, I already feel old. 25 years old is old enough for me to know how to eat right and stay focused on my health and fitness journey and my content and be honest with what I do. But if I claim honesty, hard values and morals, all this stuff, and you catch me eating nonsense, I feel like a phony. I feel like I'm a nonsense person. Not to corner the conversation, but AJ, if I claim, no, I'm working on my body, getting my fitness up, all this stuff, and you see me eating Nutty Buddies, would you take me serious as a person?
Depends.
Just so you know, I mean, maybe this will alienate you, but just so you know, if I claim fitness and health and I'm working on my body and I'm wanting to get jacked and be a good person for my subscribers, and next thing you know, I'm eating Nutty Buddies and bonbons and cakes and cookies and ice cream and all this stuff, you can know I'm a nonsense person. Because how can I say one thing that I want and then my actions don't show it?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think that's fair to think about? Like, can you respect that in a person if they say that they're one thing? Yeah, I'm getting, I'm grinding. And then when it comes down to it, they can't back it up. Don't you like not respect them as a person?
So to fully answer your question, I don't expect someone to go 0 to 100. So if someone says, I'm gonna get in shape, I don't expect them to drastically change immediately. And I believe that you expect people to do that. And I think, maybe you did that, right? I think the situation at hand, right, is we were at the pool. We were having a good time, right? It was nice. We found a good place to sit. All of us got in the water at some point, right? We were relaxing. She said she wanted snacks, right? And you told her something. I don't know what you told her because I wasn't there, right? But when I went to get snacks and I came back, she said she didn't want any snacks. Now, at some point, probably when we were in the water, I don't know, you said you saw her eating snacks?
No, so she ate this nonsense. I don't know, was feeling lazy or whatever. I don't know what she went to do, use the bathroom, go whatever. She went outside of the area, she came back, and I'm like, get in the water, because she was about to get in the water. Kids were splashing and stuff, but I mean, you shouldn't, she was trying to be on her phone and stream or whatever, take pictures and stuff. I'm like, you can't expect to be able to do that, and there's 1,000 people around you at a small pool.
Mm-hmm.
You have to just get in the pool and enjoy the moment. So when she's like, no, and I'm like helping her in the pool, I look up in her teeth and I see what I obviously could understand is Cheeto particles. I'm like, immediately, I'm like, I think we should go. I stand up, I get out the water, I walk over, I start getting ready because once again, why would this is not a dig. This is not to talk shit. This is not to be angry. I'm not emotional. Maybe I'm passionate, but I'm not emotional. Why would I waste my time with someone who's not honest with themselves about where they are, where they want to be, what they're doing in their life, for their body, for their life, for their health, when I could take that much extra time and energy and focus on my own life and be better myself, let alone any other girl out there. It makes a much better investment on my time and my energy to focus on me, because I know I'm not going to be eating Cheetos. I know I'm not going to be eating Skittles. I know I'm already out of shape enough. I don't need any nonsense to eat to make myself taste good in the moment, but then feel bad later when I look at myself and my belly's hanging out of my swimsuit. I don't need those extra problems. I already have enough things to focus on than to worry about what I'm eating. So why wouldn't I expect the same out of someone else that I'm with? Like I said, it's different because you're my brother and we're not around each other constantly, but if I'm gonna be around somebody, live in the same houses and do all this different stuff, if I have the power to not be around you, I'd rather not.
Okay. And the first thing I want to say is being passionate and having emotions are pretty much the same thing.
I think we could ask Gemini again, and once again it'll say no.
I think it was the yes. But,
I mean, if you want to, you can test it out. But
okay. But just to continue with what I was saying, I think that, okay, again, the situation, right? You saw Cheetos in her mouth or something, and you said, all right, I'm ready to go. That, I think, is an emotional statement, right? Because if you didn't see Cheetos in her mouth, you would have stayed. But because you saw something in her mouth, you decided to change your mood, to change your behavior, and you decided to leave when nobody else wanted to leave but you. I think that, again, somebody could want to change and want to be different, but you can't expect perfection from everyone, right? You can't even expect perfection from you. Now, when we are in the gym together, right, we do motivate each other, right? So I may say, oh, I'm only going to do 5, and I'm going to do like 8 or 9, right? Or, oh, I'm only going to do this, right? And that motivation is good, but constantly being around somebody, right? She says she's around you 24/7. She says she's around you 24/7, right? Constantly being around somebody who she says, in her words, right? You're not okay with her eating the things she wants to eat, right? You're not okay with her drinking the things she wants to drink. And I mean, this is again another podcast question. I think happiness is a better way of living life than to strictly focus on your body.
I'm not saying that focusing on your body is the only way to enjoy life, but like I said, I mean, she doesn't have to be around me. She could do whatever and do her own thing and just not be in front of me, disappointing me, because I could focus that time on myself. I could be that much better by not focusing on how someone else cares or doesn't care about their body. And if the world were perfect, there's someone else that could be perfect without me saying, no, eat this, no, don't eat that. If someone claimed, oh, I'm unhappy with my body, I'm fat, and then they turn around and they eat Cheetos, I'm like, why am I wasting my time hearing you complain if you're not going to do the work necessary to get where you want in life? So right. Can I hit say?
Yeah, go ahead.
So passions versus emotion.
While the terms are often used interchangeably, there is a meaningful distinction between being emotional about a situation and being passionate about it. Think of it as the difference between a reaction and a driver. 1. Emotion. The reaction. Emotions are essentially psychological and physiological responses to stimuli. They are internal states that happen to you. Nature. Usually short-lived and reactive. They often stem from your immediate mood, your ego, or how you interpret a specific event in the moment. Focus. Often self-centered. When someone is being emotional about a situation, they are frequently focused on how they feel, who is right or wrong, or the personal impact of the event. Control. They are often less filtered and can be more volatile or unpredictable. 2. Passion. The driver. Passion is a deep, intense, and sustained commitment to a goal, a vision, or a cause. It is more about why you are doing something than how you feel in the moment. Nature. Generally long-lasting and proactive. It is something you consciously lean into because it aligns with your values or purpose. Focus. Outcome-oriented. A passionate person is usually focused on the goal or the result. They are often willing to look past personal slights or ego-driven arguments if it helps them achieve the bigger picture. Control. It provides focus and energy. While it can be intense, it is typically directed toward a constructive purpose rather than being a raw explosion of feeling. Key differences at a glance. Feature. Being emotional. Being passionate. Origin. A reaction to an external stimulus. A drive toward a goal or vision. Focus. Often inward. ego, self-feeling, often outward, outcome, objective, longevity, fleeting and temporary, sustained and consistent, function, expresses a state of mind, motivates action and perseverance. Why this matters for your debate. When you and AJ are discussing his beliefs, you might find that you are viewing his passion for astrology as him being emotional, or perhaps irrational, while he might see his interest as a passionate pursuit of meaning and higher understanding.
I think that goes into our last debate.
Right, of
But,
course.
okay, so do you think, based off of that definition, that you are being passionate or emotional?
I think I'm more passionate about the situation now than I was then. I think that
I'm not asking you what you
Although-
think. I'm asking facts. Based off of the factual.
Restate the question.
Based-
Was I being passionate or emotional?
Yes, based off of the facts of what this says, do you think that you are being passionate or emotional?
I think I was being passionate because, like I said, passionate is a long-term, longevity, morals-based thing. It didn't say morals specifically, but that's just what it means basically. Passion is about your long-term sustained values and morals and how you want your outcomes to be. Emotion is a temporary, egotistical driven thing that's usually like reactionary, volatile. So if I had started calling her all these names and just was going back and forth with her and I can't believe you, that would be emotional. I just said I'm ready to go because it didn't align with my long-term values. So I think I'm being passionate now by explaining the situation. If I was emotional, I'd be angry, I'd be crying, I'd be sad, I'd be, oh, I can't believe she's wasting time, blah, 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 why'd I waste my time, this and that. I'm just saying the long-term goals are to live a healthy, good life.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not a drinker and you don't want to be a drinker, would you hang out around people that are drinking? Or does it go against your long-term passion in life to be healthy and not drink? Or we can use a different example. If you are not a marathon runner, would you actively hang out with marathon runners if they want to invite you to marathon run or they're all the time running a marathon? Would you be like, oh, let me get involved with you? Don't you have other things to do instead of marathon running? If you don't want to be that.
How do you know you don't want to be that?
I know I don't, well, we're talking about marathons versus
Right.
eating nonsense. I know I don't want to eat nonsense because I have a history with that and that got me very fat. I don't want to be fat. I want to be shredded. I want to feel good. I want to look good. I want to be socially open. And being bad physically is going to kill that within myself.
So you have a history of that.
I
And
have a-
let's say your history is 18 years. Well, no, I'm not going to say when you were born. Let's say your history is 10 years,
Right.
right? Let's say Ria's history is 1 year. Why don't you give her the opportunity to be herself, right? And see the difference in how she feels, right? And not make her feel bad for eating the things she wants to eat or drinking the things she wants to drink. She's already stopped a couple of things for you, right? So, and it just seems like it's not good enough. And I think that if you care for someone, so when you were telling me about the marathon and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
My initial thought was, if I care about you, I'll go. I'll do it. I'll try it. And you know this, right? There are a lot of times where I'm like, hey, I'm not going to make it to the gym. And then I go,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm like, hey, I'm going to do it because you're my brother, right? I love you and I want to spend time with you, right? So let's say you were a marathon runner.
Right.
Do you think if you asked me, hey, do you want to run a marathon with me? Do you think my thought would be no?
I think you'd say no.
Do you think I would do it though?
I think you'd probably smoke on it, but you probably wouldn't commit to it.
But I would attempt it.
Maybe you would start it out, but only do what you felt comfortable with. Say,
Okay.
okay, we ran a mile. This is enough for me.
And you know that the only reason I would do that is because I care about you as a person. Right?
Why is that? Because we're brothers or just because of my personality?
That is an interesting question. That is a very interesting question.
I like to ask interesting questions. Because I mean, not because I'm a Gemini,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm.
Because technically, me and Eddie aren't brothers, blood brothers, but we're brothers. And I care about him.
Do you care about Edward the same level that you care about me? The same amount of equal, or do you care more or less?
That's another great question, right? I would say maybe equal.
You said maybe, so you got
Maybe I mean because that's a great question, right? At the end of the day, I lived with Eddie growing
Uh-huh.
up as a kid. I didn't live with you.
Okay, so if I died tomorrow versus if Edward died tomorrow, you would feel the same amount of hurt.
Yeah, both would be a very hard hit. Both would be a very hard hit. I don't think I'd be able to take either of them.
Uh, you're stronger than you think. Anybody, this is one of my favorite sayings. Anybody can die any day. Time waits for nobody. Remember that. Time waits for nobody. You're not promised today, tomorrow, next week, or anything. A car crash can take you out, a plane falling from the sky. You can have a heart attack, even if you're fit, right? Fit people have heart attacks and stuff. You could have an aneurysm. Anything can take you out. So long story short, the reason why I'm so passionate about this thing with the health and the fitness and the open mindset and all this stuff is statistically having a clean diet, working out consistently, getting your sleep, getting your cardio in, getting enough water, all these different things is going to help your body. It's going to help your mind. It's going to help your social interactions. If you decide to say, nah, I'm good enough within myself, I'm going to eat Skittles, you're basically not caring about your future. You're basically not caring about yourself in the moment and for the future, because when you get older, you're going to have arthritis probably if you get 80 years old. You're going to have all these different health issues, and it's not going to allow you to live the best life you could. By best, I mean the most extensive. You're not going to be able to run as much. You're not going to be able to talk to as much people as you want to talk to. You're not going to be able to do things for yourself. So the reason why I'm so hard on this is because I have experience with not being physically fit enough to even do a pull-up, to not even make it up the stairs without being winded, to not even lift and work out and do all this stuff. But now that I'm at least a little bit fitter than what I used to be, I'm not as fit as I need to be, but at least that I'm a little bit fitter, I can do more with my personality. I can express myself better. The world has opened up for me. So what I'm saying is, if you're wasting your time eating nonsense in the life that you have, I don't think you're focused. I don't think you really want to live the best kind of life you could. I don't think you really care about yourself, because if you did, you'd want more and better for yourself. If you look good, feel good, smell good, you've heard that before. It's a saying. And I think it's true, and the main thing is your body. Because if you smell good, but you are scared to take your shirt off because you are afraid of how people are going to look at you and see your stomach piling out of your swimsuit, that's not healthy. Okay, let's say you look good, but you smell bad. Yes, I understand. That goes against your health, but you could put on some cologne, take a shower. You can't instantly remove fat. You can't instantly take off the Cheetos that you ate last weekend. You can't instantly take off the neglect of not working out, of not doing cardio, of not eating the right thing. So I'm just trying to motivate you and everybody else around me that's going to be around me to be smart, to take the healthy choice, to do what you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. So it's not coming from a place of hate or anger or disgust or anything selfish. It's, I want best for me, I want best for the people around me, I want people to live a good life. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I do. I think the way you're going about it is, you're saying, if you don't do this, I don't think you want to live a good life. I don't think you want to be happy. I don't think you want to be this, right?
Exactly.
I think that's an emotional response. I don't think that's a passionate response.
So
I think, again, I think it's a controlling thing too, right? Now, I think you said you were over 300 pounds at one point, right? I don't know how much you weighed, but I knew you during that time frame.
Okay.
So, the way you were then versus the way you are now, has it changed you as a person? Yes. But I think it was a process of getting there, just like it was a process to work out at Lifetime, right? Like, you worked out somewhere else, and then you went to Lifetime, you're like, okay, now I want to work out here, right? I think things happen that change, but you expect change immediately. Change is not immediate. And if it is immediate, I question if it's real, right? Like, I want to see the best thing about change is the process. It's not the actual change, right? It's the process and going through it. But you're saying no. I don't care about a process.
It's the results.
I need you to, yeah. And It's not the results, it's the process.
I look at myself and I see myself in process. Does that change the fact that I look at myself and I know that I'm fat in some areas? No. Just because I've been through it before, I've been fitter before, I was fatter before, does that mean I acknowledge and, oh, I used to be both ways, I know how it is? No. I'm hard on myself. Hey, I'm fat. I shouldn't be fat. Hey, I've been lacking. I shouldn't have been lacking. And you could blame my ability to focus on other people and try to bring them up and try to make them healthier. But if they don't want to be healthy, that's their choice not to be healthy. They could just choose to be out of shape, overweight, unhealthy with how they look, and just hate it. But that's not who I am. So I know I messed up and I should have focused on myself more, or I would have been better than I am now. But I'm not like angry about it. It's just people make choices. I had to make a choice to try to get to the next level. And if people aren't looking to do that, that's their choice. I made a choice. It's their choice to make.
But I've tried to give you that choice before. You never listened to me.
I know what
Right?
you
Like,
mean.
hey, let's work out. Hey, let's race. Hey, let's do this, right? I don't think you ever listened to me. Now, eventually, you did it on your own, right? But I think you did it because you wanted to do it. I really don't think you change your mind based off of other people, right? I think it takes you learning the hard way, right? Or seeing something. But what people say to you doesn't matter. So if you are that way, you don't allow other people to be that way. You expect them to be a certain way, right? But with you, you're like, I'll get it when I want to get it.
I think this goes back to the process that you're talking about. If, in my experience, it took me a long time to realize I wanted to be fit, but I basically woke up one day, saw I was 300 pounds, and knew the physical limitations that I had, and decided that this was not me. I was not some 300-pound guy. I was not the guy that struggled to get up the stairs. I knew I could be better because I saw other people do it. So yes, it took me to get to an apex of decision making, but once I reached that point, I knew that I had to do better. Now, did I still BS and waste my time doing stuff at that time? Yes, it took me a while to actually be completely strict and serious. But once I get to that point, it's only going to hurt me if I go back on it, because I know what I know. Hey, if you eat cookies and cakes and this and Skittles and blah, 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 and Cheetos, all this stuff, you're going to be physically worse off. No matter how many calories you eat in a day, even if you're still in a calorie deficit, you would have been better eating a healthy amount of macros, not Cheetos, not Skittles. How about cashews? How about eggs? How about fruits and vegetables? That's going to build your body up, but one is a choice. It's going to either build your body up or break it down. And if I'm going to be around people that are going to break down their body on choice, they're not going to live forever. Time is not waiting for them, but they choose to basically go against their own life. I don't want to be associated with that.
Which is the example at the pool, right? Which I think is an emotional decision, right? Because you're saying if someone wants to break down their body and, by their choice, you don't want to be associated with that. I think maybe you may have a trouble expressing care for somebody, right? Because I think if you care about somebody, nothing should deteriorate you from not being in that person's life, right? And maybe you don't know who you care about and who you do, right? To me, it seems like you care about certain people. And so at the pool, I think that was an emotional reaction. No, I want to go. No, don't hug me. No, you want to, eat Cheetos and waste your life. No, right? Just the whole vibe changed in a split second. And then you walked up to your chair, and the first thing I said to you is, why are you mad?
No, he said, why are you upset? I said, I'm not upset.
Yeah, and I said, I know my brother, right? You were different, right? To me, that's an emotional state that you were in. If I could visibly look at you and say, something's not right, I knew that emotionally something was wrong. But again, another thing you said is, you didn't stick to everything right away, right? Like it took you a while to get there. Why not give that same grace to Riya, right? Like obviously, I mean, think about the facts, right? So we got there, right? We were having a good time. She said she wanted some snacks. I left and got snacks. When I came back, she said, no, I don't want anything to eat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now she sat there for at least a good hour, if not longer, not eating anything, right? Besides cashews that you gave her, right? Me and you got in the pool. At some point, for me and you being in the pool to me getting out, right, you said that she had Cheetos particles in her mouth. She had an hour to think about that, and she still wanted it, right? After you guys had talked when I came up here by myself, I think you should give her grace.
So doesn't that mean that she can't make what I would consider the right decision, and it'd be better for me to leave her alone so she could eat however many Cheetos she wants to, not affecting me and my mindset? Because to me, it's just like a waste of time. Like, you know how people who are maybe considered more successful than our demographic typically,
Yeah.
they say no phones at the table, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do they say that? Because bringing a phone to a table creates a disconnecting vibe to everybody else there. Oh, I'm on my phone, I'm going to be texting and all this stuff. If I'm a health conscious person, I'm focusing on my health, why would I want to be around people who bring a theoretical phone to the table when I'm eating? It's peaceful. There's no phones. There's no nonsense at the table. Why would I want someone around me that's going to bring Cheetos when I'm eating kale? I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather just eat my kale by myself. Yeah, I noticed. Or eventually be put with someone that's going to eat kale, and not because I tell them to, not because I want it for them, but because they want to be healthy as well.
And I challenge you in that aspect, right? Because you remember the toilet seat?
Yeah, but I don't know how this has anything to do with
So there's stuff that you don't want to do that I don't agree with, but I still bring myself around you, right? So same thing with eating junk, right? I think I told you about eating, right? Or your refrigerator. I was like, why do you have all this in your refrigerator? Why are you eating this, right? Do you remember that conversation? And you still ate it because you're like, this is what I want to eat. Do you remember that?
No, I don't. I mean, I remember something vaguely about that, but I don't believe it was healthy or non-healthy food. I think it was just the way it was oriented.
No, I believe it was the type of food.
So you think that you before have said like, hey man, this is unhealthy. Why are you eating it?
Yes. You know what you did?
What?
I want to eat it.
I don't remember that.
Because there was ice cream there involved too. You're like, I want to eat this ice cream. I want to eat this junk.
Was it Ben
Right.
and Jerry's?
I didn't look at the brand, but it was a big tub, and you said, I want to eat the tub. And I'd be like, yo, what do you, this was in your apartment in Naperville, right? And we've had conversations like that. But did I say I'm never gonna hang around my brother again, or did I? Next time we talked and we saw each other, everything was fine.
But notice how you said your brother. And I think that this goes back to the brother question. I think that I provide more of a insightful idea of a person rather than just being your brother. I think if anything, maybe because you've seen the changes that I've made, it's possible to inspire you yourself to think about things in a better, deeper, different way. I don't remember. If I did remember, I'd admit it. I'm willing to believe it for sure because I did. I admitted it. I used to eat nonsense when I lived in Naperville for a good portion. It took me actually going to a better gym, being around people that were better than me physically and probably lifestyle-wise for me to say, okay, I have to do better. How can I do better? So I'm not saying for everybody it's going to happen. They're going to instantly, oh, but something that you said is, I didn't have a me. If I had a me saying, hey, why are you eating this stuff? You're wasting your time. I think I would have taken it more seriously quicker. It took me finding out the hard way that I have to actually be serious. And just because I got progress and change doesn't mean that I'm perfect. Obviously, there's a reason why I'm fat now. It's because I didn't keep working out how I used to. Even though I didn't change my diet, I stopped working out like I used to, and that definitely caused me to gain some weight. Now, the main reason why I'm so hard is because I didn't have a me. She has a me. She's making these claims. Yeah, my health. Yeah, I'm gonna get fit. Blah blah blah. XYZ. I want to be a model. XYZ. Blah blah blah. And then it comes down to it. I'm gonna eat Skittles and Cheetos. It's like you're just joking.
He had a me.
But were you as serious as I am right now? Hey, bro, why are you wasting your time? You shouldn't eat Cheetos. You shouldn't vape. Why are you vaping? Makes no, like, do you think that you're as judgmental as I am when it comes to telling someone, hey, you shouldn't do this?
No, I think I'm more strategic.
I'm more straight, hey, why are you doing this? You're wasting your time. Don't do it. You're wasting your time. You're just kidding about what you're talking about.
Right. And I told you that I don't think that's the best way to, like, you know, if you want to be a personal trainer, I don't think that's, I think you have to adjust to personalities. You have to adjust to, you know, a lot of things. And I'm more strategic about how I talk to people and who I talk to, where you're more of a straight shooter. And I don't think a straight shooter is good in the society that we live in right now.
Shout out to the guy that I met today, Jerry. I think his channel is Shy, CHI Perfume 773, something like that. Shy Fragrance 773, something like that. He was a personal trainer too. And he said he quit because he and this lady, like he helped this lady lose like 30 pounds. She gained it all back in 1 month. It's like, why would I waste my time trying to tell you how to do so, why would I waste my time trying to tell this speaker how to live its life and get shredded and lose weight and all this stuff? Okay, it does it. If it's just going to take its own choice to gain all that much weight back again, it's like you feel cheated. Like, we went on this journey together. We lost the weight together. I helped you. I gave you the knowledge. We did the workouts. We put in the work together. And for you to turn your back on that and say, I don't care about none of that health stuff. I'm going to just eat whatever I want and all this stuff. It's like someone who cares about their time, I'm never going to get that time back, right? I could focus that much time and energy and focus on my own self, on my own life, get more clients, people that are really serious. Mm-hmm. So even though I don't necessarily want to be a personal trainer, I would train people on social media more so specifically because it's less friction. You don't have to actually be there. It's a lot better. And people who take advice, that's the type of people I want to be around. But people who are like, yeah, I see what you're talking about, but I still want to eat my Cheetos. It's like, I don't have the time of day for that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Time is promised to nobody. I may not be here next year. A car may take me out today.
Yeah.
Right? A car may take that guy out today. He just moved in. His life's not promised to nobody either. So if I know something's going to help me live a better, healthier life for the longevity aspect of it, the passion thing that I was talking about, doesn't it make no sense to deduct my time for myself? And it makes more sense to buy back my time by saying, okay, you want to eat nonsense? You haven't gone through enough pain like I have to know that it's not worth it to eat that stuff? Do that by yourself. I'm going to focus on myself and not waste my time on you.
Okay.
I think that's a better way than this, strategic, no, eat whatever you want to eat and blah, blah, blah.
Well, I think your phone's about to die. So I think we should wrap it up.
Okay.
I don't think that this conversation changed my thought about the way you think about things, right? Because ultimately, I feel like when we have these debates, it's, do you see my perspective, right? And it's like, okay, well, do you see my perspective, right? It's not whether who's right or wrong. It's, do you see the perspective? And it was a good conversation, right? I enjoyed talking.
I'm glad.
And I think respectfully, we agree to disagree, but I still believe the same thing.
That I was emotional.
Yes, 100%. That you're emotional, that astrology, you don't believe in, but I believe in it, right? Nothing really changed my opinion.
But you learned that most people don't believe in astrology.
I did learn that.
And do you at least see my theory that nothing magical changes the day that you were born? It happens by chance based off of when intercourse takes place. And then every situation after that, the woman, her health, how fast the child grows, all this different stuff makes when someone's born, not a divine power saying, today you will be born. It's like chance, nature, biology, stuff like that, right? Or no, you still disagree on me?
That's a longer conversation. Because the chance of a woman getting pregnant versus the chance of them having a boy or girl versus the chance, there's so many chances in there, right? That when they are born, it's a blessing, right? Now, factually, based off of the facts, you have a lot of facts that I can't disagree with, but
thank you.
Even though I can't disagree with it, that doesn't mean that I believe in it, right?
So you disagree with the facts?
No, I said I can't disagree with the facts, but I don't have to believe it, right? So if you guys said, I'm trying to keep it PG, but if you said like, hey, it's blue outside, right? And I looked at it and I didn't see blue, or I saw blue, right? It's like, all right, well, that's a fact, but I don't want to believe it's blue, right? I don't want to believe all the facts, right? Just like if a parent dies, I don't want to believe my parent's dead, right?
It's going to happen though.
But I don't have to believe it.
That makes the least sense thing I think you've ever told me.
Yeah.
So
I don't believe all facts.
So what you're saying is, let's say this bird flew and grabbed the shorts and flew away.
Mm-hmm.
You see it. It's a fact. You'd say, I don't want to believe that happened.
Yes.
But it happened. So whether you want to believe it or not, it happened. It is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. But there's certain things that, whether it happened or it didn't happen, I don't want to believe it happened. And it could be factual. But that is who I am, and I know that about myself. I don't want to believe all the facts.
So it sounds like it sounds like you understand that the facts say that it's not real. The fact is they did scientific study and testing, and it says it's nothing. There's nothing there.
That's a fact.
So you believe that.
I believe that's a fact.
But you're saying that you want to believe that it exists.
Correct.
I think that says that I'm right.
I don't know. I don't know about that. But I think we should wrap it up.
Okay.
But it was a good conversation.
Thank you for being my guest.
Yeah.
What's your YouTube channel, and what can the fans expect from you?
I believe in Jesus, you don't. Correct? Same with astrology, right? You're going to believe the facts. I'm believing in something different. But I think, I don't know, I don't get on YouTube a lot. This is the first time we've done this on the channel.
AJ's debut?
Yeah, so I think it's like AJ86 Libra.
Yep.
Yep.
AJ86 Libra. You can check out his channel in the description. I'll plug it. And I think this guy's going to be posting about his logic, his understandings. He's going to be speaking to topics.
Okay.
Right?
It's a possibility. So, but I enjoyed this conversation, and I think you should charge your phone.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. Do you have anything else to say?